I'm an Escaped Government Experiment, Part 7, Finale. Written by Elisha012. The massive sound of an explosion flooded my ears. The shockwave hit me and sent me flying into the air like a rag doll. I hit the ground hard, the flames licking at my back. This was it. This was the end. To explain everything that had happened up until this moment, let me rewind for about 24 hours. If you've been following my post, you know who I am. I'm Buck Middleton, Escaped Government Experiment turned monster hunter. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, then I advise that you read my previous post to better understand my current predicament. Here's a link to help you out. Anyway, I had just gotten out of the headquarters medical wing where I had been resting and was gearing up with Stan for the final mission. "Buck, you're going unarmed for this one," Stan told me while strapping on a leg holster. "Why?" I asked in confusion. "The monster you're going to kill has the ability to manipulate metal. So anything like a gun or a knife is pretty much useless against it." "Well, what am I going to use to kill it?" I asked him. "This," Stan said, pulling out something that looked like a wooden Rubik's Cube. "What, am I supposed to throw this at it?" "Yeah, actually, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. It's a high-powered grenade made up completely of wood that can wipe out anything that's in its way for about 9 meters. "Okay, so how do I detonate it?" I asked. "It's simple, you just throw it at the monster and it'll explode." "Okay, got it." "Do you have any more questions?" Stan asked me. "No," I said. "Good then, let's get moving." We were well on our way when Stan explained that I would be the one to ask James Wade for help on this mission. Stan said that it would be better for me to ask than him because he would trust me more, or something like that. I thought that this was strange, but to be honest, Stan had been acting weird ever since we had gotten out of the hospital. He would look every so often at his phone to check if anyone had texted him, and he took extra precautions so that I wouldn't see the messages. Not only that, he kept looking down at where he kept his gun, as if he was checking to see that it was still there. I just ignored all of this, thinking that he must have been nervous about the final mission. Once we arrived at our destination, Stan gave me a map so that I could find Mr. Wade's cabin. I took the map and went in search for James Wade. The path to the cabin was overgrown with small trees and bushes, but I was able to make my way through. After a small trek, I found the cabin. It wasn't really a cabin, but more of a concrete shed. It looked big enough for one person. I walked up to the door, intending to knock, but it opened before I could. "You're the one they've sent to kill me," James stated. "What?" I responded. "I won't fight it. You've got to do what you've got to do," he said. I'm not going to kill you," I told him. "You're going to take me in for questioning then." No, I reassured him. "Then what are you going to do with me?" "I was going to ask for help," I said. "You need my help? Doing what?" He looked at me suspiciously as he said this. "Tracking down a monster," I told him. "I don't do that anymore," he said. "Oh, come on," I said. "I just told you no." "What if I told you that my freedom depends on it?" "What do you mean by that?" he said. "To make a long story short, I've been working for a company that will set me free from the government if I help them capture monsters." "And why exactly would the government want to keep you captive?" he asked. "Because I'm an enhanced human being. Everything about me is enhanced. My speed, my strength, my endurance, my sight, etc. And I can't die." "Huh, and you think they're just going to set you free?" he said, looking at me like I was a complete idiot. Yes," I told him. "Listen, man, something tells me that this is a trap," he said. "It's not," I said. "Prove it then," he said. "Okay, shoot me then," I told him. "What?" he said, again looking at me like I was an idiot. I said, "I want you to shoot me so that I can prove to you that I'm a government experiment and I'm not lying." "Fine," he said as he shook his head. James quickly pulled out a large handgun from his back pocket, took aim, and fired. The bullet hit me in the forehead, sending brain matter and flesh flying all around. Blood poured out of my head, blinding my vision. I wiped my eyes and proceeded to feel around the remnants of my forehead for the bullet. I finally got my fingers around a large piece of lead and pulled it out, and then threw it into the grass. Luckily, my head had already begun to heal, forming the broken flesh and skull to its original form. "So, do you believe me?" I asked James. "That's a cool party trick," he said. "And fine. I'll help you. At least if they try to kill me, I can use you as a body shield. But I want you to remember that I am never going to do something like this for you or your bosses ever again. Understand?" "Understood," I told him. "Let me get some stuff from inside and then we'll go." Several minutes later, James walked out wearing a backpack. He then locked the door and we made our descent down the path. As we trekked on, we made small talk about my missions. "So, the Wendigo just died that easily?" he said. "Yeah, I didn't expect it to be so anticlimactic," I told him. "And the same thing happened with the tall man, right?" Yeah, both missions were really simple. Something wrong, Buck?" James said. Stan never told me what monster I was going to kill next. As a matter of fact, he never even told me what to do after." Before I could finish my sentence, the sound of a twig snapping behind us caught our attention. We both turned around to face what it was. James instinctively drew his gun, and I went to grab mine as I realized that I had left it in the car with Stan. A man emerged from the woods. He was wearing a dark suit similar to Stan's. He also had a large handgun pointed at both of us. "Drop your weapons and put your arms up where I can see them, and don't try to fight, you're surrounded," he said in a stern voice. "Surrounded? You're the only one here," I said. The man whistled and about 10 agents came out surrounding us. "I thought that you said they were on our side, Buck," James said. I don't know what's going on," I exclaimed. "Well, I do," James said without a second thought as he shot 2 agents closest to us, killing them both. Taking this cue, I charged at an agent that was about to shoot James. The guy didn't even have a chance. Before he knew it, I had grabbed him and slammed his head into a tree, killing him instantly. I'm not going to go into all the details of how I killed the 5 other agents that attempted to attack me, because it was gruesome. James had killed 3 more of the agents when I finished the others. When I turned to attack the other remaining agents, I found the only agent remaining was the one that had ordered us to drop our weapons. A wicked smile spread across his face as he took off his coat and drew a weapon that I knew I had used myself. It was the cosmological dagger. "James, get out of here!" I screamed. He gave me a little 2-fingered salute and ran. I then turned to face my opponent. "I've been waiting for this for a long time," the agent said. "Do I know you?" I asked him. "I'm the 2nd successful super soldier out of the program. The rest died. And let me guess, you're the only one that can kill me," I said. "Well, I can't kill you with my bare hands, but this dagger can." And with malicious intent, he ran at me, preparing to end my life. But he never got the chance because I threw down the grenade that Stan had given me. The massive sound of an explosion flooded my ears. A shockwave hit me and sent me flying into the air like a rag doll. I hit the ground hard, the flames licking at my back, This was it. This was the end. But then I remembered that I couldn't die, and something like this would hardly hurt me. That also meant that the other super soldier was still alive. I jumped up looking for him. I saw him about 30 yards from where I was. I sprinted at him, but he had already regained consciousness and was attempting to get up, but a tree had fallen on him, pinning him down. The cosmological dagger was several feet away from him. I picked it up, knowing what I had to do. It was hard, I'm not going to lie, but it was the only way to secure my survival. He died instantly. No screams of suffering or moans of agony. Just a quick, peaceful death. I walked away knowing that I had one more thing to do. One last mission. Stan didn't hear me sneak up behind him. He also didn't hear me grab my duffel bag, where my pistol was either. He had been looking at his phone, not paying attention to his surroundings. I shot him in the leg. He fell onto the ground, screaming in pain. As he writhed on the dirt, I walked up to him and grabbed his collar and began to drag him into the woods. He cursed and made all sorts of threats, but I didn't care because he was just like the creatures. The creatures that he had made me kill. He was a monster, and unless I got rid of him, he would continually ruin the lives of others. I brought him back to the place where I had killed the other agents, and I let him scream and make empty threats as much as he wanted. I'm going to leave you here to rot, Stan. This isn't revenge or payback. This is so that you can't hurt anyone else, I said. It doesn't matter if you leave me here. My men will come and find me, and I'll hunt you down until the day that you die, he screamed. You know what? That's a good point. I think I'll just finish you right now, I said. Wait, what? I shot Stan right in the head. He was right, his men would hunt me down till the day I died, and I wasn't going to give him or his men that chance. As I walked away to Stan's vehicle, something odd happened. Hey! Said a strange voice from out of nowhere. I looked around to see who had spoken, but I saw no one. Hey! Said the voice again. Who's there? I said, confused. Hey! Said the voice, this time from right behind me. What the heck? It was a skeleton. To be more exact, it was a classroom skeleton. It even had a stand with rolling wheels holding it up. Hey! It said in the strange voice again. It was odd because I didn't see its jaw move when it talked. Hey yourself, I said. The skeleton didn't reply, but just remained motionless. Well, I'll see you later, I said, walking away. Good luck, Buck, the skeleton said. Did you just say my name? I said, turning around to face it, but nothing was there now. The skeleton had vanished. Weird, I said to myself as I started to walk back to the car. But I never made it. Instead, I found myself suddenly waking up in a hospital bed. Doctor, he's awake, said a female voice. Sir, how do you feel? Said a male voice. I'm fine. Why do I have an IV in my arm? And why am I in the hospital? I asked. You don't remember the crash? Crash? What crash? I asked. Nurse, the patient may be suffering from amnesia. I can't stay here. I've got to go, I said. Please stay still, sir. You've been in a very serious accident, the doctor said. What happened? You were hit by a semi-truck. It's a miracle you're alive. What about my bag? Your bag is right over there, sir, the doctor said, pointing to a chair where my bag had been placed. I'm sorry, I've got to go. Sir, please stay still. Nurse, please go get me some help, the doctor said. Henry, "John, please come over here. We need help with the patient," said the female nurse. I pulled out the IV they had stuck in my arm and I walked across the room to grab my bag. The doctor and nurse both stared at me dumbfounded at the fact that I could walk. Right at that moment, 2 male nurses came in. "Where do you think you're going?" one of them said. Instead of giving him an answer, I gave him a fist to the face, which sent him flying into the wall. The second nurse took a step back, not sure if he really wanted to attempt to restrain me. "Sir, please lay down," the doctor pleaded. I looked at the large glass window and I got an idea. "Well, it's been nice knowing you guys, but I need to run," I said. And with that, I sprinted towards the window, hugging my duffel bag, and broke through it. I didn't realize how high up I was because I fell further than I had expected. I landed on top of a parked car, lucky that no one was inside. I rolled off it and I started running. People were staring at me, stunned that I had just gotten up like that without a problem. But I didn't stop just because they were staring. I just kept running until I found a bridge to hide under, and I rested there for a while. When I woke up, it was dark and I decided to check my duffel bag for anything useful. Thankfully, there was. My laptop and pistol were inside it, along with Stan's wallet and a truckload of cash. But something else I had forgotten was inside it, the cosmological dagger. I've been writing what's been happening so far under this bridge, and to tell you guys the truth, I don't know what I'm going to do next. Anywhere that I go, the government will be right on my tail. I'll never be able to escape, and I'll only be able to run. One thing I can say for sure is that I can't post anymore from this computer because it might compromise my locations. It could be being tracked by the government as I type. Since this is my last post, I want to thank all of you for your support. It's been encouraging to know that I have people rooting for me. Anyway, that's all for now. Until next time. Signed, Buck Middleton. Oh, and P.S. If anyone in a suit tells you that they're from the government and asks you to join them, don't. It's for the better.